A legend, an icon, a leader, an inspiration. One of the most influential figures all time, the definition of a true winner in all aspects, the one and only great Bill Russell passed away at age 88. All the positivity he brought to the great game of basketball, his impact on society, the civil rights movement, an activist, champion for social justice, the perfect teammate anybody can ask for, with heavy hearts, the basketball phenom's success on and off the court, the impact will never be duplicated, the NBA trailblazer, broke many barriers, whether it was in college, the Olympics, the NBA, or as head coach, and even way after his playing days, Mr. William Felton Russell will highly be remembered as one of the main faces of the National Basketball Association. Meant as much to the game as anybody, a true pioneer, the Bill Russell Finals MVP, named after him, will likely forever hold the record for most championships of any player to ever play in the NBA. The basketball community and our country has lost one of the greatest legends to have ever walked this earth. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson, the best leader in all of team sports, as motivated as any player in wanting to win at all costs, maybe the most perfect teammate anybody can have, the best player to perform under pressure in 30 games when facing elimination during the NCAA or the Olympics or NBA postseason. His team record 28-2 in those elimination games. The intelligence, being at the right spot every moment, making the right plays, the intimidation factor. Russell's presence revolutionized the defensive interior game, paving the way for future superstar bigs who won many Defensive Player of the Years decades after Russell's playing days. The combination of athleticism, finesse, IQ, preparation, and timing created the art of winning, a match made for success. Young Russell and his family endured and overcame racial tensions in a segregated time where he had to use different bathrooms and do different leisure activities due to his skin color. His father, Charlie Russell, moved the family to Oakland, California in 1943. Young Russell grew up with tons of adversities. His mother, Katie, passed away at 32 from a kidney failure, called his father to promise her and the family to send the boys to college, and his father fulfilled that promise due to Russell's athleticism and height, excelling at basketball at 6'9.5", led the University of San Francisco Dons to a record 55 straight victories in college, back-to-back NCAA titles in 1955 and 56, collegiate numbers of over 20 and 20 in 79 games. Boston Celtics coach Red Auerbach sensed Russell as a potential NBA superstar, made sure Rochester didn't land Russell at number 1, knowing he was going to get picked by St. Louis. The Celtics worked their magic in a trade, and the rest was history. Won a gold medal in Australia, carried the Celtics to the franchise's first ever championship as a rookie, a 19.32 rebound closeout Game 7 versus St. Louis, the start of the greatest dynasty sports has ever seen. Russell went on to win an unprecedented 9 championships, including 8 straight in Russell's first 10 seasons. But in a city that was ethnically divided, Russell's bravery would not stop him from making his impacts felt to society. When civil rights leader Medgar Evers was killed in Jackson, Mississippi in 1963, Russell traveled to the state to run an integrated basketball camp. After winning his 5th straight NBA championship and 3 consecutive league MVPs, many sports figures and celebs would have been kicking their feet back, living their lavish lifestyles in their private mansions, or go to exclusive resorts drinking their $1,000 martinis. But the 29-year-old went down to one of the most dangerous and racist towns in the country, knowing there's a chance he might even get shot. Angry KKK members there, Russell courageously risked his life, opened up the first integrated basketball camp in the state, a necessary step towards equality where sports built bridges that connected all race, no matter what you look like, where you come from. Sports brought all people around the world together as a unity, risked his life during the prime of his basketball career for his belief in human rights and human dignity. That's why he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Russell always spoke his mind, proud of who he was at all times. Combined with his basketball excellence, Russell was always targeted in away games too. In some cities, fans shouted racial slurs where the team had to walk through the crowds to get to the court, couldn't eat at certain restaurants on road trips, or stay in certain hotel rooms because of his race. Even local sports writers didn't vote for Russell for All-Star Game MVP, elected on Jerry Lucas because Lucas was white. Even with all the hostility, Russell always stood true to himself and never tried to impress anybody else on how others wanted him to act. When Russell moved his family to Boston, his house broken into numerous times, vandalized, spray painted on the walls, being one of the faces of the NBA. Russell and his black teammates denied at certain venues, athletes in the 60s treated like third-class citizens. Once Russell applied for a gun permit after his house continued to get broken into and the raccoons never came back after police said that raccoons were responsible. The first black athlete in Boston of any prominence because teammate Bob Cousy was white. All the Boston media and fans gave their point guard all the credits and tried to downgrade Russell, but with the greatness of head coach Red Auerbach, 19 years after the first baseball color barrier was broken, as Red stepped down as head coach in 1966, he named Russell the first black head coach of a major American professional sports team, a huge stepping stone. Auerbach being one of Russell's few trusted friends as a player and coach. Russell's greatest matchup and success came against the improbable superhuman powers of Wilt Chamberlain. Taller, bigger, faster, stronger. Although Wilt had all the stats in the world, Russell always made sure he did his homework and came to play his best. In 94 regular season matchup, Russell's team won 57 times, limited Wilt to averaging under 30 points on 49% shooting, won 7 of 8 playoff series, was the most talented individual player of his time, averages of 15 and 25, 5 assists those 49 games. Russell never lost focus in the most important aspect of the game, which was winning, and more winning. Wilt and Russell both great friends off the court and hung out at each other's homes, as Boston would lose to the better Sixers in 1967 and looked old in 68 and 69, as it seemed like it was finally Wilt's time to build a dynasty. Russell says not so fast. His leadership brought the team 2 more titles after Red stepped down. As he aged, his younger teammate stepped up, came back down 3-1 to the 68 Sixers, a perfect 7-0 finals record versus the Lakers. Legends like Jerry West and Elgin Baylor never beat a Russell-led team in a series. One of Russell's most defining moments against the heavy favorite Lakers with the powerful big three of Wilt, West, and Baylor. LA with home court advantage, Boston ended up forcing an unlikely Game 7. Lakers owner Jack Kent Cooke decided to have thousands of balloons set up, printed world champion Lakers, while it was going to be Russell and Sam Jones' final NBA game, both age 35. When the Celtics found out about the Flyers, ended up having a pre-game hype fest, using the Flyers as motivation. Lakers superstar Jerry West furious, knowing what type of person Russell is and how he'll respond. Russell says those effing balloons are staying up there. Combined with Chamberlain and Lakers head coach Butch Van Bertekhoff clashing heads at the wrong time, Wilt had to sit on the bench the last 5 minutes of the game. Russell solidified his legacy by winning his 11th championship, made the Hall of Fame in 1975. His personality demonstrated again by refusing to attend his induction to the Hall because he strongly believed a few other black players that came before him should have gotten in, and Russell didn't need to be liked, felt he didn't need any of the shine to prove his worth and body of work on and off the court. Being 10-0 in career Game 7s, his numbers of 18.5 points, 29 rebounds in those games, even the greats in Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe all lost in the Game 7. 22 points, 35 rebounds in Game 7 of the 60 finals, a 30.40 rebound closeout in the 62 finals, a 25.32 rebound effort the 66 finals. Just a few of some of Russell's finest performances. Clutchness personified, one of the greatest rebounders in the history of the game. The only stat he cares about were the W's. Could have averaged more points, but allowed his teammates to score, as blocks weren't recorded in his era. Would have likely finished top 5 in that category if tracked. 11 titles in 13 seasons. One of those losses came from the 58 finals, where Russell severely sprained his ankle and still played on. Missed 2 games that series. Otherwise, we all knew what the results would have been. The ultimate winner, the ultimate leader, the ultimate athlete, unselfish, a man of integrity, the NBA pioneer will greatly be missed, overcoming the hardness and tough times outside of basketball, and to remain the greatest winner in all of team sports. His loyalties, creating legacies, dynasties, and culture, a few of the most resounding words to describe the basketball legend himself. Russell's greatness will forever be celebrated. Not only is Russell one of the greatest basketball players all time, one of a kind figure that will always be cherished in our hearts, his impact and legacy will forever live on. Rest in peace, Bill Russell.